Timber setup and you're trying to cover it.
Sometimes you can get them to bite a big worm by popping it up.
Really? Hey, we're with the Russ Lane, and Russ, we're fishing a favorite piece of structure, an old roadbed here. You've resurrected some of the large worms here, and you got a couple of rigs that you're using too.
The first rig that I actually used to throw up on top of the roadbed on the shallower part of it, the rig is a 1/2 ounce Buckeye Magnum spot remover jig head. It's just like a regular shaky head, except it's a 1/2 ounce and it's got a beefed up 4-aught Gamakatsu hook in it. And I've got an 8-inch big bite Magnum finesse worm on it, and that's really good for throwing up on the shallow part. And then the other setup, Buckeye makes a 3/4 ounce, it's called a Magnum sled. It's got a big beefy 5-aught EWG hook in it, and I've got a big bite a 10-inch creek tail worm on it. And that's, like I said, that's a 3/4 ounce, so I'm going to use it to throw off the side. You know, on a roadbed, you know, it's real slick on top, and you know, you can imagine what the road looks like. And off the side, there'll be all the rubble and the riprap that they used when they made the road, and that's what that bigger worm is good for, to get it down there around in those snags and stuff.
Now, your presentation is somewhat defined by the heads that you're using on these, right?
Right. Yeah. Just like I said, the more of the 1/2 ounce version, I'll show it to you here, is better for that slick part of the roadbed. You can tell the way it's made. It's a stand-up type jig head, so it's going to slide along the surface of that concrete down there and hold this big finesse worm up on top. This is a rig I've used a lot of places fishing offshore to get a lot of bites, and it'll catch big ones too. And then also the 3/4 ounce head with the big bite creek tail worm. That's it. You can tell it's a big stand-up head, also with a big beefy wide gap hook, and you slide that thing along just like you would maybe a football jig. You know, there are times when you know, when they'll get off of a jig and they really just don't want to bite it as good, especially when the water temperatures are warm, and they really like this big worm set up like this. I'm a firm believer I get more bites on these jig heads than I do Texas rigging them.
Standing timber setup, and you're trying to cover it.
Sometimes you can get them to bite a big worm by popping it up.
Really?